had been hiking a remote ridge in the Pacific Northwest, far beyond the tourist trails, and well past the safety of any ranger station. My plan was simple. Spend 3 nights alone, map part of the ridge for my own personal project, and enjoy the silence that only deep forest can provide. The first day was easy. The forest smelled of damp earth and cedar, and the trail was soft under my boots. By late afternoon, fog rolled in, thick enough to swallow the treetops and turn the world into shifting layers of gray. I found a flat spot near a fallen log and set up camp, listening to the distant cry of an eagle echo across the valley. Night came quickly, dropping the temperature with it. I made a small fire, ate, and settled into my tent. That's when I heard the first sound, deep, rhythmic thuds, like something enormous was walking through the forest. Not a deer, not a bear. Whatever it was, it took its time. I held my breath, waiting for the steps to fade or change direction. Instead, they stopped directly outside my camp. The fire crackled softly, and for several seconds, nothing happened. Then a low, rumbling exhale drifted through the trees, long, heavy, and unmistakably powerful. I stayed completely still. The sound continued, breathing in and out as if the thing was trying to pick up a scent. My heart pounded so hard I could hear my pulse in my ears. The creature moved again, and the ground shook with each step. I didn't sleep for the rest of the night. By dawn, everything was silent. I stepped out of the tent, scanning the clearing. At first glance, the ground looked normal, but near the fire pit, sunken deep into the soil, was a single footprint. It was huge, at least twice the size of my boot, with clear, defined toes and a shape that no known animal should have. I should have left then, but curiosity pushed me further along the ridge. The air grew colder, the forest darker. By the second night, unease had settled into my bones. I set up camp early and made a larger fire than usual, trying to chase away the creeping sense that I wasn't alone. The silence that night was wrong. Even the crickets had stopped. When the sound returned, it wasn't footsteps this time. It was a distant howl, deep and resonant, rising from the valley like a warning. The kind of howl that makes your instincts recoil naturally. I backed into my tent and gripped my flashlight. Minutes passed, then more heavy steps approached from the darkness. But this time, the creature didn't stop at the edge of the clearing. It walked straight toward my camp. My fire hissed as a shadow blocked the glow. A colossal silhouette loomed over the flames. I couldn't see its details through the tent fabric, but I could make out the shape. Tall, broad, with shoulders so wide, they distorted the glow of the fire behind them. Then I heard it breathe again. Slow, heavy, measured. I don't know what made me do it, but I slowly unzipped the tent just an inch. Through the gap, I saw one massive leg, covered in dark, coarse hair. The creature stood motionless, facing my tent, as though waiting for something. Then it crouched. It lowered itself until its face must have been level with the zipper. The forest held its breath. I shut my eyes, too afraid to look directly at whatever was inches away from me. I could feel the presence of it through the thin fabric. Immense, powerful, intelligent. After a long, agonizing moment, it exhaled once more, almost like a huff of disappointment. And then it walked away. No rush, no panic, just long, heavy strides fading into the forest. I didn't sleep at all. At first light, I packed and left immediately, practically jogging down the ridge. The forest felt different, still too quiet. Even the air seemed denser, as if the trees themselves knew something was watching. But the part I remember most clearly happened when I reached the edge of the woods. I turned back for one last glance at the ridge, trying to convince myself I had imagined everything. That's when I saw it, far up the slope, standing between 2 pines. A massive figure, upright, unmoving, watching me leave. It stood there until the fog swallowed it completely, leaving nothing but silence behind. I've hiked many places since then, but I've never returned to that ridge. And sometimes at night, when everything is quiet, I remember the breath outside my tent. Slow, heavy, almost human. And I wonder what would have happened if I had unzipped the tent just a little farther.